We are the Fat Guardians, and my name is ACB the Man. Dear Bungie. Now, I have said one of these in the past. I have made one of these videos in the past. I know it's small. But Bungie, I was one of the people that said, hey, fix your game. The beta wasn't very good. It was nice, but there was a lot of stuff wrong with it. And you said, okay, we understand. And you listened to the player base, and you made your game better. I have been one of the people that have sort of apologized for you. I'm a Bungie apologist. I've said, no, that's not that bad. Don't worry about it. I'm one of the people that said the loot box situation was not that bad. The throttle XP throttling, happens in a lot of RPG games, a lot of things like that. Who cares? Different things like that. And I've been one of the people that have said Destiny 2 is still a fun game to play. Do I play it as often as I play Destiny 1? No. But I'm older, and I have been a teacher for 3 years now, and I'm moving into a new teaching position. And I do have a strong connection to Destiny and Bungie itself. Bungie games were some of the first games that I connected with other people in college with, my roommates who I didn't know. They were some of the first games that got me into Xbox gaming in general. And honestly, I had twins that were born a month after Destiny originally came out. I had a rough internship. I had a rough first job. And Destiny is what I came home to take my mind off of those things and help me get forward. Now I'm saying I love my kids, but just having twins and a rough job was a tough struggle. And Destiny helped me get through there. So yes, I'm a little bit biased. But Bungie, take a second and think about if you were a player. Now, I know that you have to live up to certain expectations from your parent company, from yourself, either monetary gain or timeline gain or something like that. But think about the player, please. Now, yes, Curse of Osiris was being built when the base game was being built. The second DLC was being built probably at the same time. And so some of these plans were there, and you didn't know how the community was going to react to the base game and different things like that. But before this was launched, you should have thought about some of these things. Hey, we had this idea, but it didn't pan out. Did you really think that the Prestige raid moving up and being out of reach of people was a good idea? Now it says yes, it says you thought that. But think about that just for a second. What you could have said is, hey, the Prestige raid is still for everybody, but the Prestige raid layer, well, you have to have the DLC for the raid layer, so the Prestige raid layer is with the DLC. And you've said some of those things, like the Nightfall, because it includes some new strengths, is always going to be Prestige level. You have to have the DLC. That makes a lot of sense. But some of these other activities doesn't really make sense to have. Now, to me, Iron Banner, that's a little bit on the fence. But Trials, like you said, it was there with the base game. Why didn't you think about that? Why did nobody at Bungie think about it? And if they did, why didn't you say, hey, that is probably a good idea. You're probably thinking about it more like a player than we are. Like I said, I'm a little bit more apologetic, and I can talk about all the loot box stuff all day long, but you've heard it from 1,000 different people. Dear Bungie, think about your game from a player's perspective, not from a developer's perspective. And how does your game come out? I know it's a completely different game, so it's hard to say, well, Destiny 1 at the end was amazing, and why did you bring all this crap over to Destiny 2? It's hard to say that because it's a completely different game in my opinion. Same storyline, same characters, different style of game. But think about the stuff you put out from a player's perspective. Now, it was a fairly decent DLC. I'd give it about a B+. And I'm probably going to wind up playing Destiny 2 all the way through. But from a sort of hobbyist standpoint, or at least someone who used to be a hobbyist and now more of a moderate player, what we need is for you to stop and think about each decision you make and how we are going to think about it. You're not going to please everybody. but think and say, is this going to be a mostly positive decision or mostly negative decision? And if you cannot truly say that you know it's going to be mostly positive decision, then take a step back and think about how you're going to implement it. I like some of these new changes. Honestly, I like that we have stuff to grind for with the forge weapons. I know a lot of people don't like that, but I like that we have stuff to forge or to grind for. I like that you're following fan feedback. Well, my 2 cents from ACB the Man is to just take a second before you launch these things. I'm not going to be one of the ones that leaves after DLC. I'm not going to be one of the ones that leaves after something that I don't like. I have a huge clan with over 700 members. My clan, the Epic Delta Squad, has 90-something members, and there are 6 90-something member clans inside of our 750 member clan, which is awesome. And so I'm not going to leave, but some other people might. And so Bungie, I love you. I love what you do. I'm very grateful that you are in my life, and I have found this thing called video games, especially Halo and Destiny. And I'm glad that a little company, well, pretty big company, up in Washington State can make such a profound impact on a person who lives in Texas and Arkansas. But Bungie, I don't know who you are responsible to. I don't know if you do a lot of things to please Activision or you do a lot of things to please a CEO of Bungie or something like that. But take a second to think, will this be mostly positive or mostly negative? And tune your game. Whatever you want to do, because from what I've heard and from what I know, you make the game you want to make. As long as you have fun playing it, we'll have fun playing it. But Destiny, especially Destiny 2, as a service, as a long-term game, needs to be treated a little bit differently and thought about in a slightly different way than just, can we move all this DLC? It's, what can we do positively to have more people buy more DLC? What can we do positively that makes more people say that was a good idea than a negative idea? Thank you for making Destiny. Thank you for making Destiny 2. I'll see you in the next expansion.